If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.
Do a remix of that. What's happening? It is Nazzy and Marissa from the Pulse of New Hampshire. Welcome to your Concord Co-op Community Connections. My Jim's all ready to go here. My co-star, as always, Miss Kim Brandis from the Concord Food Co-op. How are you today, Kim?
I'm good. I'm happy. It's warm. It's sunny out.
That's always
not raining.
It's not raining. Oh, now you just said it. Now you know what's going to happen.
No.
You just said it. All right, Kim, who do we have with us today? A familiar face.
Yes. Today we are joined by the one and only Jim Readey. He's been teaching yoga and meditation for the past 25 years. He's a former New Hampshire attorney and a former Concord Food Co-op board member. His mission is to help individuals live their healthiest, happiest, and fullest lives. In addition to yoga, he also leads workshops and retreats in conscious communication, men's work, couples work, and mindful improv.
And I'm still trying to find time to get in there, Jim. I have to get there. I know that footwear is not required when we go to your classes. I'm still finding time, Jim.
Nazzy, a man who does not have 90 minutes to do yoga each week needs to do yoga for at least 3 hours a week. It's an old expression.
It's true.
It means your life is too busy.
That is true. That is definitely true. So, Jim, talk a little bit about what it was like to switch over from being an attorney, a suit and tie, in an office, in a high pressure situation, to yoga, to downward dog and warrior pose 1. I mean, how was that transition?
Well, it wasn't smooth and it wasn't quick. Because when I was doing yoga, it was right at the tail end of my legal career, because I had developed some neck issues and other things because of my legal career. But I was noticing that I was still very competitive within the yoga class. I was pushing just like I would have been pushing during the day as an attorney. So I was trying to be as good, probably, to be honest, better than the yoga teacher himself. I was trying to outdo him, and I ended up making my neck issues worse. That was one thing I remember about that, because of my over-competitive type A-ness. Eventually, though, go ahead, Kim.
Did you do yoga while you were attorney, or it started after?
It was during the last 6 or 7 months that I just, in fact, it was the yoga that helped me decide to stop being an attorney.
Really?
Yes. When I started to slow down, and it took about 2, 3, 4 months before I really started to hear the teacher, when the teacher was saying, if it hurts, back off. If it hurts, do less. If you're straining, do less. And the no pain, no gain ethos that a lot of us grew up with. I was going by that when I did my yoga, but I started to hear that, started to slow down. And when I started to slow down, I was able to listen to my emotions, let's say my inner child's voice, the parts of me that I had been numbing out to for most of my life. And part of what my inner child was saying is, we don't like this. We don't like this lifestyle of being a lawyer. So it really helped me transition.
Yeah, that's a big change to make.
It was. My fear at first was, it was not just the money. It was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to make money. But the other one was, I'm going to become stupider. Now, my inner child, one of my inner children was saying that you're going to become stupider. You're not going to be going into work with all these intelligent people and competing intellectually and all that. And it turns out that when I look back on it, my life as an attorney, while it was intellectually challenging, it was a very narrow scope of intellectualism.
Yeah.
And since I've let go of that profession and started doing other things, I realized there's a whole big world out here that I was missing out on. A world of creativity, a world of emotional joy, and the full range of emotions, in fact, that I had been numbing out to. So,
any regrets? I mean, do you miss it?
Not at all. It was the first, no, absolutely not. It was the first 6 months where I was looking in the rear view mirror, as it were, like, oh, should I have done this? Should I go back? Maybe I should get a part-time job just to keep the income coming in. But somewhere around 6 months and a year, that all just disappeared, and I started enjoying life a whole lot more. And here's the thing. I thought I was going to eventually burn out on yoga. As a yoga teacher, I thought every profession probably has its shelf life. I had been a lawyer for about 7 years, actually 10 years counting law school. And I figured, all right, maybe I have 7 to 10 good years as a yoga teacher, and then I'll want to do something else. But every year it's gotten better and better and better. It's just a deeper and richer experience for me.
You ever done yoga?
I haven't gone to a class in that yet, but I like to stretch before and after
Yeah.
bed.
Nice.
Me up and helps me sleep better.
Those are perfect times. Yeah, to set a tone for your day in the morning and to set a tone for your sleep patterns overnight. That's
That's
perfect.
a big difference in my sleep if I don't versus when I
Yeah,
do.
huge. And you discovered that on your own, improvisationally, it sounds like.
Good
Yeah.
lead into today's topic.
Yeah, right. That nice segue right in there, Jim. I like that. All right, Kim. What is today's topic?
So today we're talking about humor in improvisation, aka improv.
AKA
And-
Jim's life.
Yep. And I'll be honest, improv scares me. I like having everything planned out. I like knowing what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do. So it'll be interesting to learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I relate. As a lawyer, I had to plan out everything in advance. And I was terrible at improv when I first started doing it because I was still trying to plan out my next line, and being 5 seconds behind the action just makes you lose complete idea or control what's going on. So I was always a little behind what was happening on stage. So it took me actually a few years before I'm going to say it took me 5 years before I really started to relax with just going out there and knowing that I knew nothing about what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I think of improv, I think of that show, like Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that an accurate representation of what it is, or is it more than that?
That's a small sliver. And it's the part of improv that is absolutely for entertainment value, performance, obviously, by the actors or the improvisers. And it is about getting laughs and maybe playing to the lowest common denominator of the American public.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, it is a small sliver. It's one of the risks of practicing that kind of improv, especially when you're first starting out, is that you're going to go for the laughs. And when you go for the laughs, you can fall back on old habits, like old jokes that I know, or things that I've seen other improvisers do that got laughs. And now I'm out of the moment when I'm doing that. And I'm going from a loosely prepared script in that moment. It's still a script nonetheless.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Nazzy and Marissa, this is what you two probably do every day, right?
I'm just thinking that. This is, go ahead.
I like to think of myself as like the class clown of any friend group or family situation. I like making people laugh and making people feel better if they feel any certain way. So yeah, I feel like when you're in conversation with someone, it's almost like improv because you're just chit-chatting and
Flying by with just a thin wire.
yeah, I like
Yeah.
to do theaters too. I like to be funny and silly constantly.
Yeah.
And I did theater for 5 years growing up in school, and we did a lot of improv, so it was fun. It was
Did you find that every one of your actor comrades enjoyed improv, or were there some that hated it or were afraid of it?
There were some that hated it because they felt awkward or they thought they were gonna be embarrassed.
Yeah. Where's my
You really just
script?
have to embrace it and jump in
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
and not be afraid.
So there are a lot of people, I've heard a lot of actors, and like Kim, having fear of it. One of my students who has been doing improv for probably 20 years, 25 years, had a really good friend whom she had invited to come to classes on numerous occasions. And her friend said to her, "Look, I would rather give a kidney than to go to do improv. I would donate an organ before I would do an improv class." And it's that same fear of being, what is it? The number one fear of most human beings is
Public speaking.
Yeah, there we go. And
Yeah,
and
that's true for me.
making a
Yeah.
mistake, right?
Yeah. And that's something that I've always never had a fear of. I've never had a fear of public speaking. And when we took public speaking in school, and even when I was in theater too, people were like, "Oh, just send Nazzy out. Give Nazzy the line. He'll do it. He'll do it." I have a fear, and Marissa and I talked about this last week. I have a fear of small one-on-one intimate conversations.
Really?
Those are my big fears. Yeah. I would rather improv in a crowd than have a conversation like at a cocktail party, because I don't know what to say. I'm not performing.
What'd you say you were really bad at small talk?
I'm horrible at small talk.
So would
Horrible.
you call yourself an extrovert then, Nazzy?
Is that what that? Okay,
I think so.
I think that's what I am.
Yeah.
Because an extrovert is always
Yeah,
everything
that's
entertaining.
it.
Yeah.
Everything's big. Introverts while they can do well on stage in front of a big crowd, immediately afterwards, they head for the parking lot to their car. or they want to talk to, if one person wants to talk to them, but they cannot hang around and have a crowd of people come up and talk to them comfortably. So it's fascinating. A lot of introverts are drawn to improv, probably because we need it. We need it the most. And they can bring a lot of power to improv scenes because they can bring an authenticity to the interactions with another character on stage that extroverts sometimes have a little more difficulty with. The intimacy you mentioned, Nazzy. If we can bring an intimacy to our interaction with another being on stage, that's just how powerful is that?
Right.
Kim and Marissa, I think you both have done theater.
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't, but
No.
Marissa would know that. If you bring an authenticity to the scene or to the stage, the audience really can connect with what you're doing, and your scene partner can connect, and you can connect with it more deeply. Which, by the way, is, if I can make the connection between doing improv and health, the health benefits, I mean, for me, it's right there. If we can connect with our emotions in an authentic way in a scene or in an interaction on stage or with another being in life, what we're doing is we're bringing that emotion out into the open. We're kind of having a miniature workout with it. And it loses some of its fear. It loses some of its hold on us. If we can play out a fear or an anger, sadness, all the range of emotions, we start to become more comfortable with having real emotions. And that just translates right into life. It's amazing the way it does it. And it's the basis of what I do as a yoga teacher, yoga nidra teacher, meditation teacher, is I help people get connected with their authentic emotions and have a little workout with them and become less and less intimidated by having real feelings.
So hold on, let me pause you there for a moment. Sorry.
Sure.
How do you bring that out in meditation? Because in meditation, you're supposed to be still, be calm, kind of focus. So how would you bring out that extrovert or introvert in meditation?
Yeah, that's a great question. The answer is similar to my answer to Kim about the whose line is it anyway? There's a sliver of meditation, where you just sit on a cushion and you be quiet. Right? And what the problem with that, particularly with beginners, is that we have busy minds. In the yoga world or meditation world, we call it monkey mind. And if it's really busy, it's like 100 drunken monkeys in trees fighting each other. But what we're trying to do is to notice what's happening in the mind, and not only the mind, but in our body, the sensations in our body, and also our emotional energy. Those three things, by the way, they're all part of the same energy continuum. So I'll say it again, that our thoughts, our emotions, and our physical sensations, it's really part of an energy experience that we're having. They're just different ends of the spectrum, different ends of the continuum. So those are the things we're watching in meditation. It can really be overwhelming for people, particularly when they're beginners, but even folks who've been doing it for years. There's busy days. It's just hard to observe it. We get caught up in it, which is not the meditation. So to answer your question, Nazzy, what I do is I sit with someone one-on-one and I invite them to tell me what it is they're noticing in that moment that's most prominent. Again, whether it's a thought or a memory, let's say a visual image, so that's the thinking part, or it could be an emotion or a sensation in their body. What's most prominent? They'll tell me what it is. They'll say, I'm remembering something I said at work today and I'm feeling embarrassed. I'll say, where do you feel that in your body? So I'm feeling tension in my jaw. I feel like my face is flushed. It's hot. And now then the key role that I have in that moment is to say, can you let yourself just be with that now? Because our human reflex is to run away from it. We don't want to feel all these emotions, embarrassment, anger, sadness all over again. So instead of suppressing it, I'm helping them bring it out into the open, become relaxed with it, whether it's anger, fear, sadness, joy, excitement, whatever it is, become relaxed with it. And then it will just cycle through in the way it was meant to. And that's healing. That's our energy body in flow.
Wow.
It's almost like the concept of people suppressing their feelings and bottling it up until they explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
of people do.
Exactly. So what we're doing here in yoga, meditation, what I just spoke about, it's called a yoga nidra practice, and improv, Tai Chi, and the list goes on. Exercise in general, if you're doing it mindfully, what we're doing is we're kind of, what do we call it? You know, the pressure cooker has that little weight on the top, and it lets the steam out periodically so that the pressure cooker itself does not explode. So we're letting the pressure off proactively. Healthy, exactly. We're meant to have tension in our lives. You couldn't sit up or stand up or move around if you didn't create tension, but we're not meant to hold on to it. What is that called when we're holding on to tension in our body, which is just energy that's ready to stress. You got it. That's it now.
Yeah.
So that's when tension becomes something that we don't want. It's stress. Or some people use it the other way around, but that's fine.
This is great. We're getting a free therapy session here with Jim. I mean, I already feel better.
Where do you feel that in your body, Nazzy?
My stomach, always.
Yeah, and
always. Anytime I have anxiety, anytime I'm stressed about something, it's butterflies, and it's in the belly.
And what does it feel like now? Are you both feeling butterflies now in your belly?
No.
I'm relaxed right now.
Yeah, I feel pretty relaxed.
What does your belly feel like, Nazzy, in this moment? What's it feel like?
Empty. It feels good. It's
great.
Hungry.
So
hold on.
There you go. Yeah, he's taking his time.
It feels fine.
So this is what I would do if we were doing a private session. I would pause us a little longer. So right now you're giving it some labels. It's fine. It's good. Which are judgments.
Yeah.
My job is to get you to actually feel it. And feeling it is beyond words. You're actually noticing it. And you had said empty, which is an interesting word. Some people would say, I don't feel anything, they'll say that's good because normally I feel stressed down there.
Yeah.
But I'll ask them, what does emptiness or what does a nothing feel like? And that's when things become amazing because they were actually not feeling what energetic flow felt like. So if I can slow you down, I would get you to feel what's in the belly now. And then you would have a new reference point of what calm and relaxation feels like. And that makes it easier for you to return to that. If you said your belly is always feeling that anxiety or butterflies, if we can get you to feel the belly in those times where it feels, in your words, good or relaxed, then you can actually return to it more often, become more familiar with that as a possibility.
So I'm discovering the baseline of what it should feel like.
Yes. And we're actually meant to feel, we're meant to feel a full range of emotions as animals and human beings. So there's nothing wrong with feeling some tension again, but when we hold on to it, when the situation has long passed and it's no longer necessary, then it becomes stress, as you had labeled before. Quick line I want to tell you. I learned this in my yoga teachings a long time ago. It is anxiety is just excitement without the breath. And I'll say it again. Anxiety is excitement without the breath, which means if you're feeling tense and anxious, if you start to breathe a little more slowly in a more relaxed way, your nervous system will relax and you'll feel excitement and joyful energy rather than that anxiety.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow, Jim, we've got about a minute left.
Oh.
Please give out your website, how we can touch with you on social media, how we find out more about all the amazing information you just gave us.
I'll spell my name because it's sometimes hard to remember. And if you look me up on Facebook, you can find Jim Readey, Readey. There's an E between the D and the Y. Ready with an extra E. And I'm at nhyogacenter.com. That's my website. If you want to catch me by email, try take6breaths@gmail.com. Spell it all out. Spell it. Don't put any numbers in there. It's take6breaths@gmail.
That's really cool, Jim. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Jim.
This therapy session we had today. Look, Marissa's calmer. She's sinking deeper into her chair. I mean,
thank all three of you for this improv session. We didn't script this, and we just winged it, and it was a lot of fun.
And that's how I live my life, Jim. It's all improv. All right, final 30 seconds. They go to you, Kim. Take it away. Tell us about the co-op.
Okay, so I want to thank all our shoppers who rounded up during the month of July. We raised $3,499 for the Boys and Girls Club. Yes. And if you come in during the month of August, you can round up for the Friendly Kitchen.
Love it. Perfect. Website.
www.concordfoodcoop.coop.
You're still doing curbside as well?
Yep, we're still offering curbside.
So is that something that's going to stay no matter what? We're going to keep on doing
We
that.
think so, yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Well, Jim, thank you. Kim, thank you. Marissa, thank you. We'll see you next time
You.
on the
Thank you,
Concord Co-op
everybody.
Community Connections.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.